Hello everybody. I'm making this video kind of help people that are possibly going to prison in the future or are looking at possibly going to prison. My going to prison was not very serious, and I actually could have avoided it, but my temper is actually what got me in prison. It wasn't for very long, less than a year, about 8 or 9 months. Back in 2018, I had been drinking and I'd been struggling with alcohol and most of my life. Well, since I was 18, and when I was 29, I got drunk, almost got robbed, tried to stop the person, and when the cops came, they said, "Well, you can't do that. You are supposed to call us. Well, you're not supposed to stop the person from robbing you. You're supposed to just let him go and then call us." Well, I didn't do that. I fought him back and tried to hold him until the cops came. They came, they tased me, they arrested me. I sat in jail for about 42 days before I saw my revocation judge because I was already on probation for some other stuff, lesser serious stuff. I was on 15 months probation. The judge, I got revocated. Said about 42 days, saw the revocation judge that sentenced me originally. He said, "I'm tired of you resisting arrest every time you get drunk and deal with police," so he gave me 6 months in jail, he gave me a year. I only had to do about 6 months in jail and about another 3 months of house arrest when I would have gotten out. That would have been June 4th of last year. And after about a week from getting out, I got into a confrontation with a guard. Ended up swinging at the guard, hitting him. At that point, I was put in segregation for 30 days. The next day after getting into segregation, which is the hole a lot of people refer to as. When I got to the hole, I was seen by a detective, and he charged me with battery by prisoner, which sucks. I thought maybe, possibly, I might get out, jail in a week, but I didn't. I spent another 3 months at that point fighting my new charge of battery by prisoner. And at that point, when I came up to sentencing, my lawyer had made a deal with the DA to agree to only make me, since I had spent about 10 months in jail by this point, for me to only do 18 months in, 18 months out in prison, which with the 10 months I already had in jail, I only had to sit about another 8 and 9 months. So I sat about another 3 weeks after sentencing, and then I was taken to Dodge Correctional Institution in Wisconsin. Spent another about 3 months there, waiting to go to my actual prison. When you're going to prison for your first time, I don't know about other states, but in Wisconsin, you have to be classified because of my violent resisting arrest and my battery on an officer back in 2013 that I got 3 years probation for when I was drunk. I was considered a violent inmate and could not go to a medium or a minimum security prison. I was considered a max. So I was told I had the choice between 3 different maximum securities. So I did go to a max. I spent about 4 or 5 months there, and I got out May 26th of this year. I guess a lot of other questions people might have is, what is prison or a max prison like? The first one, is it like Shawshank? No, it is not. The showers are not, obviously a lot of people say, "Hey, did you drop the soap?" No, the showers are completely different from what they used to be, probably because of raping in the shower, that they have made them into individual stalls, and there's a curtain that you can pull up, so when you look across your way at the next guy across the room, you only see about the waist up. You can't see the private areas. You are not able, there is a good wall between you and the person next to you, so you are only able to see their head. You can't see anything below that. When you're in a cell, in a maximum security at least, you are locked down over 20 hours a day. You are not out of your cell very often. You go to recreation, but in Wisconsin at least, since it's winter time here, or when it is winter, they don't let people out in the summer in the winter. They don't let people outside because of the cold. So they keep you in an indoor recreation area. A lot of things I didn't know about prison that it was like that. I knew they had TVs, but they do nowadays have tablets. They have radios. Obviously, they've always had those, but they're much louder than they used to be. Obviously, I went to a prison called Green Bay in Wisconsin. Green Bay Correctional, and there's a lot of gangsters there. I didn't know this when I chose the prison because you are given a choice of choosing the prison you want to go to out of the 3 maximums in our prison, with state at least. I chose the one that was the most dangerous, not knowing I was doing that because I didn't look in and study in what prison was the best to go to out of the 3 maxes. So I went to Green Bay, and I didn't know that's where a lot of the gangsters go to. So there is probably at least 85 or more % black guys, which, not saying I'm racist or anything, but I guess I didn't know it was like that. When I went to chow hall, which is lunch, or the dinner hall, I was quite surprised by that, how many black people there really was there. I have no problem with black people again, but I was just really surprised by it. I didn't see any actual fights, really. Of course, I wasn't there long enough. About a month into my sentence, I should say a month after getting to Green Bay Correctional, I was dumb enough to get into another altercation with the guard, and I assaulted another one, not seriously, it was just a punch in the shoulder, but it was enough to put me, I last a little over 3 months in segregation. Segregation from jail to prison is a lot different. In our jail, at least in our county where I'm from, in Wisconsin, they only let you have a Bible in our jail. But when you go to a prison in Wisconsin, at least the where I was at, they let you have books. If you are in a AC cell, which is administrative seg for people that are in long-term segregation, which I was not, but you can move up. There is a level system in the segregation. After each month that you're behaved, you get to move up 1 level. There's only 3 levels. You move up to 1, 2, and 3 levels. I was up to 3, so they move you to another housing wing is what they call it. There's the 100, 200, 3, 4, 500 wings. That's 100. There's 5 wings in the segregation unit. They call them the 100 wing, 200 wing, 300 wing, 400 wing, and 500 wing. That means there's not 500 cells. It just means that's the name of the wing. I don't know entirely, since I didn't really leave my cell too often, how they set it up, but I did notice that they have different hallways, which is considered a wing. Before I had left, about a few days before I left, about a week, I was put in 500 wing. That, I believe, those are the administrative segregation wings. Or cells, sorry, the cells. They do have TVs you can have in there if you're good enough. They give you books every Friday night, Friday night you can sign up to get books. I think it's Thursday they do that. Wednesdays, actually, you can get the slips when they hand out supplies. You can get supplies to get that, and then you sign up, you turn it in, and they give you books on Friday night. The problem kind of is you're not guaranteed that the guards are going to pass out the books like they're supposed to. They give you showers in prison, usually about 3 times a week in GP. At least at Dodge Correctional, the receiving prison, they do. In Wisconsin, we have receiving prisons, which when you're going into prison, either for the first time or any time, they make you go to Dodge Correctional for the first time. Your first time, it's going to be a little slower getting through the system compared to after you go there. I've only been in prison once, but this has been what I've been told by other people that I was in prison with. You do want to watch out who you mess with in prison. I was housed when I made it to Green Bay. My second cellmate there, I should say, he was a convicted murderer. He had killed a child molester that tried to touch his daughter, which, in a way, I can't blame him for that. It's just sad that he was so young when he did it. He was only 21. This was last year when I met him, and he is doing life without parole, which is sad, at least he still has revisitation with his daughter and his wife, but it's, again, sad that he lost his whole life over that. I probably wouldn't have killed the guy. I probably would have just beat him up really bad, because at that age, you don't want to lose your whole freedom the rest of your life just for that. I guess another thing, people probably wonder, guards, yes, can be choosy on who they are nice with. They do, some are dicks to you for no reason. Some are nice to you. When I was in my cell one day in segregation, you probably heard the name gassing in prison. And it is a real thing. I witnessed it when I was in my cell. I didn't see it, but I could hear it happen, and I seen the fluids go flying. The guard that got gas actually, to me, was a decent guard. He was fair to me, but this guy was in a cell and he wanted to get moved. So he put feces in a cup and mixed it with water and threw it out the trap door of the cell door when the guard opened it up. And the first thing was he said, I'm out of here, bro. They're going to come get me now. And what it means is they're going to suit up and kind of like a SWAT member. They suit up. They give you a chance to come out willingly. If you don't, they spray pepper spray or tear gas in your cell. And that usually is all it takes to get someone to come out. At least that's all I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody that is able to go beyond that. I've never seen them actually have to forcibly go in and remove somebody. Usually the gas is enough to make someone surrender. I've seen it on TV shows where people have to be forcibly removed. I don't know, some people maybe just have resistance to that stuff. Yeah, so I guess I will try to maybe make videos more about other stuff. I guess the one thing I could say too is when you do leave the prison, people probably think they just kick you right out on the street. That's not the case. You can either have your parole agent or, parole agent will have someone come to get you, which they call a transportation sergeant. Will transfer you back to your hometown, which is what I had happen. Or you can have a parent or family member or a friend come get you. And I did have that option, but my PO wanted me to be transported by a transport sergeant. Fortunately, I didn't realize it was such a long drive from the prison back to my hometown, which is over 3.5 hours. Didn't realize it was quite that far. Prison is better than jail. I mean, at least our county jail where I'm from completely sucks. The food sucks. There's things that you don't get in our jail that you should get. One of the things is Q-tips for cleaning your ears. I know some people believe they're not that good for you to use, but they don't give you that, which makes no sense. They also don't let you drink soda in our jail anymore. I'm assuming it was because of hooch problems, people making hooch. Another thing that I guess I wanted to say that I saw in prison is people always call it fishing out their cells. That's a pretty interesting trick that they did at my cellmate that was in for murder. Doing life showed me he popped our trapdoor on our cell with a shoestring. That was pretty interesting. He says, I can pop it within seconds. And I'm like, okay. Well, he took a shoestring and ran it up through the lock part and popped it. Fortunately, he was supposed to put something under it so when he hits the steel, it doesn't bang real loud to get the guard's attention. He didn't do that. Of course, he didn't get caught doing it either. And then he was able to take his laundry bag, which is like a net, and take a sheet and tear a string part off of it and make a rope. And he threw that out his cell and over the railing and into the bottom to the very first tier on the first floor. And they were able to exchange items. This happens quite often in prison, especially with people that are doing life or that are not as worried about getting caught doing it. That was pretty cool, interesting to see that done. Also, another thing that my cellmate did, which he took some pop bottles, put water in it, and then left the cap just a little bit off, and then threw it out the cell door. And he waited for the what they call them, swampers, people that are inmates that walk around the housing unit, that clean up and keep things clean. And then I thought, oh man, wouldn't that suck if there was piss in it? And I guess I shouldn't have said that because he ended up peeing in the bottle and throwing it over again. There was a camera outside our cell area that was able to capture people doing stuff, but they couldn't totally tell if it was him, and they couldn't say if it was me or him. But I think they knew him. He'd been there a little while, and they knew it was him. He didn't go to the hole for it, but they pretty much, since they didn't have enough proof, they couldn't really put him in the hole for it. Fortunately, when I went to the hole, about a month later, he came down there for self-harm. He obviously, I think, thought that wouldn't be that serious. When you're in prison or jail and you talk about self-harm, they will take that seriously. They will put you in a padded cell in the county jail, at least here, or they will put you in a segregation unit where you can be watched closely or more closely. Another thing is that they have, in prison at least, they have a strap down table, a gurney they can strap you down to if you really are trying to harm yourself. And I've never been in it, but I'm pretty damn sure you don't want to be. It probably isn't fun, especially if you have to go to the bathroom and you can't get up to do it because you're strapped down, I'm sure. Let's see what else about prison. Yeah, it's just not a place you want to go to. I've only been there once in prison, and I definitely don't want to ever go back. I have over 2 years sober now. I've been sober since December 4th of 2018. And honestly, since I know that sobriety, alcohol was what got me in jail and then prison, and then my temper got me in prison, I just got to stay sober. So, but yeah, you just kind of look up and watch videos if you're going to be going to prison, or if you know somebody that's going to prison, and find out what rumors are true and what are not. The whole dropping the soap kind of thing, that might have been true back in the day, but it's not true anymore. That doesn't happen like that. At least it didn't where I was at. I'm pretty sure Wisconsin and every other state is taking away that problem. Another thing is they do have other ways to report rape or sexual assault. They have on the back of your prison ID, they always put in ways to report stuff like that. One is you can have your family report it. Two is you can write a kite to the guards, which is a piece of paper. Or three, you can just tell them. Or four, you can type into the phone when you're making a phone call, you can type in a certain number and it'll let you report it that way. Never had any issues like that while I was locked up about anyone coming on to me. Fortunately, maybe I wasn't in the worst prison. I mean, it was a bad prison, but I never had to deal with anything like that while I was there. The food, obviously, is way better. Yeah. I guess that's all I really want to make for this video. Until next time, I guess I will see you all later.